Hi, welcome to lesson number 3 in the unit on the Dvaravati civilization. In this lesson, we're going to be discussing architecture and urban planning. So Dvaravati cities were often surrounded by a moat and also by ramparts. Now, ramparts are small hills or mounds that were man-made, and on top of these mounds, you often had a wooden wall. Okay, and these moats and ramparts were used, of course, for protection, just in case the city was attacked by an enemy. In regards to Dvaravati architecture, their religious buildings at least, were often made in something called the Indian Gupta style. So again, this civilization was very, very much influenced by India, even their architecture. So what does the Indian Gupta style encompass, or what did it look like? Well, so they made chedis or stupas that were layered. Okay, that means you have one layer or story on top of another, as you can see in the photo here. Okay, got a big layer at the bottom, smaller one on top, a smaller one on top, a smaller one on top, and so on. Okay. These stupas were usually made from red brick or laterite. Okay. They were always square-shaped, or they were usually square-shaped rather. We had two different kinds. We had this square-shaped layered one, and we also had a round half-circle one, which we'll talk about in a moment. And these stupas would often be decorated with mystical creatures like nagas, lions, or other creatures, or with Buddha images. And those creatures would have been made out of something called stucco, which is like a plaster. Okay. This building does not have much stucco left on it, but you can kind of see the remnants of it, the leftover stucco here, the white bits. This stupa actually is in India. This is a purely Indian style stupa, and this particular one is found in India, located in India. If you look at this picture, this one is located in Thailand, okay, I believe in Lamphun province. So it was built during the time of the Haripunchai kingdom, and it was definitely built in the Indian Gupta style during the time of the Dvaravati civilization. You can see how similar it is to the one we just looked at, and this one does have Buddha images intact. Okay, and you can just note the square shape and the layers. Okay, the stories get smaller and smaller as you go up the stupa. Here's another example of a Dvaravati style stupa. This one is found in Mongboran. Okay, so it's actually a copy of one that exists elsewhere. But again, you can see the layers, the square style, the brick material that's used, and the stucco. Now, the other style of stupa or chedi was the round half-circle one. So these would often have a square base, okay, and they were quite large, and they would have a pointed finial at the top, which is kind of like a tiny umbrella almost. You can see the finial right here on top of this stupa, and this one is actually found in India. All right, and this one's very, very old. And we spoke about the chedi in Nakhon Pathom, Prapathom chedi. Prapathom chedi, as I said, the current one was built on top of older chedis. One which was made in the Khmer style, and then an older one which was made in the Indian Gupta style, as you can see in this image. So we've got the original one here. You can see the Khmer style one underneath it. And down here you can see the Indian Gupta style chedi at the bottom. It's a half circle, very large still, with a finial at the top and a square base. Alright. So that's all I want to discuss in regards to architecture and urban planning. So you need to, just to review, you need to know that the cities were surrounded by moats and ramparts for protection, and that the style of the religious architecture was influenced by the Indian Gupta style. And you need to know that there are two types of chedis which were common during that time. We've got the square layered chedis and the large rounded jetties with a finial at the top. And that's it for this lesson. So thanks again for listening.